salary.
Maybe only take 1 penny of it and then
Yeah.
the rest charity.
Yeah, okay. Barack Obama wasn't overly wealthy, but he was fairly wealthy. I'm sure he kept his salary and used it. George W. Bush owned the Texas Rangers baseball club at one time. Money wasn't a factor to him. Bill Clinton was a guy that got a hell of a pay raise when he became president. He was the governor of Arkansas, and he was only making like $40,000 a year as governor of Arkansas. So this guy makes a lot more money, the $400,000 approximately, when he was president. This man here was also involved in the oil business with his son, not an unwealthy guy. Ronald Reagan was an actor. He was fairly well to do. I think he kept his salary. Jimmy Carter was actually a peanut farmer from Georgia who got into politics, so he more than likely used his salary. Gerald Ford, same way. Richard Nixon grew up very poor, and he was a very good politician, but he probably kept his salary. Lyndon Johnson, he grew up very poor, kept his salary. John Kennedy, very, very wealthy family. He donated his entire salary to charity when he was president. So presidential salary isn't a lot, but where do these guys make most of their money? If you called up Bill Clinton and asked him to come speak to us, he would do it for about $50,000 an hour. That's about what he'd get. They write their memoirs, sell their memoirs, the book, make big money. There's lots of things. You make a lot more money after the presidency in speaking engagements than you probably ever make during the presidency because you were the president. So that's kind of how that works. Well, anyway, in 1830, Monroe's wife died. In 1830, Monroe's wife died, and he was too old to go reassume his law practice, so he sold his Virginia estate to cover his debts. He sold his Virginia estate after his wife died because he was too old to go back to work, to be a lawyer. So he sells his estate, and he moved to New York and lived with one of his daughters and her husband until his death. So again, in 1830, Monroe's wife died. He was too old to resume his law practice. So to get himself out of debt, he sold his Virginia estate. Did not want to stay there by himself, I assume. Got himself out of debt, moved to New York, moved in with one of his daughters and her husband until his death. That's just kind of an interesting statistic. He died in New York of heart failure on July 4th, 1831. He died of heart failure on July 4th of 1831. Here's the kind of weird thing. Do you know, with his death on July 4th of 1831, he became the third of our first 5 presidents to die on Independence Day. He died on Independence Day, John Adams died on Independence Day, and Thomas Jefferson all died on Independence Day. That's kind of ironic. 3 of our first 5 presidents died on July 4th. 3 of our first 5. Okay, we can do a couple of things here. I could give you this review, which I don't think I will. We'll have a
Did you say 1831?
Yes. Now listen up. Here's kind of what we're going to do. Monday, I'm going to give you a review for the quest or quiz test on Tuesday. And then I'm going to Monday hand out your biography assignments and explain those to you if you haven't done one of those yet. And your topic person that you'll be writing that on, and kind of go through there. We will have a test Tuesday, and I just want you to know that Wednesday we will get after it because we will be on a tight window to get all the way through Andrew Jackson before we take that test. So we will be lecturing. There will be nothing but lectures from Wednesday until our test. So just kind of be prepared. But that's the end of this test material here. So you are welcome to visit quietly, go to the bathroom or whatever, one at a time, get homework. Try to get your neck straightened out, whatever you need.